Hey everyone, welcome back to the Traveling Sag. For spring break this year, the kids and I sailed on Wonder of the Seas from Miami, April 13th through the 17th. Before we get into the cruise, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, let me know if you've sailed on Wonder of the Seas before. Embarkation was surprisingly quick and easy. Before arriving, I completed all of our check-in requirements in the Royal Caribbean app, including uploading our documents and setting up our boarding information. Because everything was completed ahead of time, I received the express pass and it made a huge difference. Once we arrived at the terminal, we moved through check-in very quickly with barely any waiting. My biggest tip is to complete everything in the app before embarkation day. It saves time, reduces stress, and gets your vacation started much faster. And just like that, we were officially boarding Wonder of the Seas. Hello, hi, morning. Just take it all in. Hold on, I gotta take it all in. The cookies. Once we were officially on board, the first thing I did was make a beeline for our muster station. I always like to get it out of the way before we start exploring the ship. Earlier that morning, the kids and I already completed the safety portion through the Royal Caribbean app. However, you still have to physically visit your assigned muster station so a crew member can verify that everyone completed the process. It only took a few minutes, and once we were checked in, we were free to officially start enjoying the wonder of the seas. After completing our muster check-in, we headed to the Windjammer for lunch. Once we finished eating, we made our way to our cabin to drop off our things and take a quick look around the ship. Our cabin was located on deck 11, room 11637, and it was a Central Park balcony. Let me show you around before the kids completely take over the space. As you enter, the room has a long, narrow layout, but it still felt bright and comfortable. The television was mounted across from the sleeping area, along with a desk and additional storage. Here is the main bed, and the beds would later be split to accommodate the kids as well. Traveling with children means every bit of storage space matters, so I was definitely checking to see where we could put everything. And now let's take a look at the balcony. The balcony overlooked the interior of the ship, which is Central Park, and I loved being able to step outside and take in everything happening below. It was also a nice place to sit and relax. Back inside, we had closet space near the entrance, shelving for smaller items, and the bathroom. The bathroom was compact as expected on a cruise ship, but it had everything we needed, including the shower, sink, mirror, and additional storage. Overall, the cabin was clean and comfortable and worked well for our spring break cruise. It also had a lot of plugs and USB ports. One of my favorite things about this cabin was the balcony overlooking Central Park. There was music playing constantly around the ship, and because of where our balcony was located, we could hear a lot of music coming from the pool deck. So many of the songs were Caribbean songs that I grew up listening to, and since I'm of Caribbean heritage, I was completely in my element. I honestly don't know if it was because this was my first time staying in a Central Park balcony, but I have never sung and danced so much from a cruise cabin. Later on, we headed up to the Sailaway Party, and this was easily one of the most energetic Sailaway parties I have ever experienced on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I don't know if Royal Caribbean is trying to borrow a little Carnival energy, but they definitely turned this party all the way up. The kids and I danced so much that I was physically aching by the time it was over. The music was nonstop, everyone was having a great time, and the energy on the pool deck was amazing. They even had champagne showers where the crew would spray champagne and guests could open their mouths to catch some. Of course, I had to join in and get a little champagne myself. I have honestly never experienced anything like this on a Royal Caribbean cruise before, but it was such a fun way to kick off our spring break vacation. For dinner, we went to the Mason Jar and ordered way too much food. Biscuits, cornbread, gumbo, deviled eggs, fried green tomatoes, shrimp and grits, brisket, burgers, mac and cheese, and more. Our waitress warned us, though, that the food was heavy and hearty. I didn't believe her, but you know what? She was absolutely right. I ate so much I left with a belly ache, but the food was so good. The next morning, we arrived at CocoCay and docked right next to Freedom of the Seas. Since we've visited CocoCay several times before, we decided to keep this day very relaxed. My son chose to stay on board and spend some time on the sports deck playing basketball, while my daughters were determined to get off the ship for one reason: funnel cakes. We headed over to Oasis Lagoon Pool, relaxed by the water, and grabbed some lunch. Of course, we also had to stop for the funnel cakes, which are always one of their favorite treats on the island. There were no big excursions or packed schedules this time. It was simply a quiet, low-key afternoon enjoying the pool, the food, and the beautiful weather before heading back to the ship. Day 3 was Nassau, but I actually made a separate video showing how we spent the day on board, so we're moving right into day 4, our final sea day. This was another really laid-back day. I spent most of my time relaxing in the solarium and around the pool deck, while the kids lounged and did their own thing. Even though the ship was sailing at full capacity, it honestly never felt overly crowded to us. We were always able to find somewhere to sit, relax, and enjoy the day without feeling overwhelmed. Of course, the pool deck got very lively again. They brought back the champagne showers and had dance-offs, and some of the dancing was definitely a little more grown up than I expected. Once again, I found myself wondering if Royal Caribbean was trying to bring a little carnival energy on board. Later that evening, I checked out some of the nightlife. I went to the Beyonce and Friends party, a Bob Marley tribute, and then an all-white party which featured mostly Latin music. It was a fun way to end our last full day on Wonder of the Seas. And that brings us to the end of our spring break cruise on Wonder of the Seas. Overall, this was such a fun and relaxing trip with the kids. We enjoyed the ship, the food, the pool deck, CocoCay, and all of the nonstop music and dancing. I still have to ask, Royal Caribbean, are you bringing a little carnival energy? Between the champagne showers, the dance-off, the music, and the Sailaway Party, this cruise definitely felt livelier than some of my previous Royal Caribbean sailings. This trip was focused on the kids, so I didn't purchase a drink package, go to the nightclubs, or participate in activities like the Quest. But don't worry, I'll be back on Oasis of the Seas in November, and that trip may look a little different. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Traveling Sag. I'll see you in the next one.